Om Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edi vedasyama ani sthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran Samdadhami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we stopped somewhere in the middle, this number 5. This hymn is very special in one way that we can see that Agni is identified with many different godheads. Yeah? He is Vishnu, he is Rudra, he is all the Adityas, he is Maruts, and everywhere there is a relation to Agni as the divine will, acting through these or with the help of these devatas. So these devatas are cosmic godheads which are involved by the divine will into our manifested state of consciousness, and they are acting upon us, upon our substance, changing it constantly. That's what we looked into before. And now we are coming to verse number 5. Natvadhota purvo agneya jiyan nakavyaich paro asti Nakaviyaich paro asti svadhavach vishascha yasya atithih bhavasi sayajnena vanavad deva martan. There is none that precedes thee as the priest of the oblation, nor any mightier for sacrifice. This is kind of an absolute status of Agni, of flame. None is supreme over thee in the things of the wisdom. Thou who possessest the self-ordering power of nature. The creature of whom thou becomest the guest, O Godhead, prevails by sacrifice over all that belongs to the mortality. This is also a very important indication. So the creatures or the people, Vishach, who accept Agni, the divine will, as their guest. He is the guest here in our body. That creature prevails over all the mortal things with the help of the sacrifice. So the sacrifice is the action of Agni. So he has to act and transform our being. My interpretation, there is none who has here before you as a summoner, who was here before you as a summoner. So there was nobody here before Agni who could summon the divine powers to act upon us. So he is the only one who actually does the work. He is the immortal among mortals who brings immortal powers to act upon our mortality. Who could bring down the gods? There was nobody. None who actually made the sacrifice. So as Sri Aurobindo somewhere says that there is no sacrifice without Agni. There is no transformation, there is no evolution, there is no development without the divine will being involved. And in the matters of the seers, that is means kavyaich, and knowledge, you are the Supreme, who also possesses himself in self-establishment of being. He is self-sufficient. He doesn't need anybody for his own being and his own existence. He is self-existent. Svadhavan. He possesses svadha, his own self-establishment. Whom you approach as a guest, he wins the mortals by his sacrifice, O God. Such a statement that there was none before Agni here in the creation who could invoke the higher powers and do the sacrifice is important for our understanding of who Agni actually is. It is he who descended into the darkness of inconscient and started the process of redemption, the return to the origin of the fallen emanations. He is therefore the best in the matters of knowledge also. He who knows what is to be done, he knows all the stages of transformation because it is his purpose to know. It is his purpose to redeem, to transform. It is the divine will acting here. And moreover, he is of the nature of self-maintaining and self-establishing being. And those who become him, who welcome him, as their cherished guest, he makes he makes them win over the mortality, which is the sign of his major characteristic, the power of transformation of mortality into immortality. I took few quotations from Sri Aurobindo on the cosmic will, because they're fitting very well, explaining what Agni is from other writings of Sri Aurobindo. Agni is the Deva, says Sri Aurobindo, the all-seer, manifested as conscious force, or, as it would be called in modern language, divine or cosmic will. First hidden and building up the eternal worlds within, then manifest, born, building up in man the truth and the immortality. So he is responsible for all the worlds to be built, for the inner worlds to come into existence, our mental, vital worlds, the innermost worlds, the transcendental worlds are also his action of the divine will, consciousness force, that's the divine will. And then finally he manifests here in time and space and also leads the journey towards transformation. There is this beautiful passage from the Life Divine. I want us to kind of go deeper into the philosophical and psychological meaning of Agni. There is no necessity in the essential nature of mind, sense, life, that they should be so limited. We are looking at our nature as if it is totally limited, and we are limited, and we cannot do anything. We are here in this body has cravings, we have limitations, we have diseases, we have desires, we have thoughts, all these. And so on this presumption, Sri Aurobindo says they should not look at them from this angle. For the physical sense organs are not the creators of sense perceptions, but themselves the creation, the instruments, and here a necessary convenience of the cosmic sense. So they are rather a convenience for the cosmic sense to express itself. The nervous system and vital organs are not the creators of life actions and reactions, but themselves the creation, the instruments, and here a necessary convenience of the cosmic life force. They are the product rather than the production. The brain is not the creator of thought, but itself the creation, the instrument, and here a necessary convenience of the cosmic mind. It's a product by which cosmic mind can act upon the manifestation. The necessity then is not absolute. This necessity of the brain, of the vital organs, of the body is not absolute, but teleological. Teleological is opposite to theological. Yes? It's not the cause, it's the effect. It is the result of a divine cosmic will in the material universe, which intends to posit here a physical relation between sense and its object, establishes here a material formula and law of cosmic force, and creates by it physical images of conscious being to serve as the initial dominating and determining fact of the world in which we live. It has a purpose, a service. It becomes a foundation in which the divine will can express itself. It is not fundamental law of being, but a constructive principle necessitated by the intention of the spirit to evolve in a world of matter. Sri Aurobindo is so precise with his vision. He is Yajiyan. He is of the power of the sacrifice. He is the one who, by transforming constantly the world of matter, the world of vital and mental being, is constantly building them up. There is a free will here acting upon that what he built. He is not totally free to do it yet in our mind. We will see why. He will explain in the next section. But he is Yajian. He is the one who is building the worlds. And there is nobody who is higher in this vision and knowledge in this world than him, because he is the divine will manifesting the divine here in the form of material manifestation. Moreover, we see that this cosmic action, or any cosmic action, is impossible without the play of the infinite force of existence, which produces, regulates all these forms and movements. And that force equally presupposes or is the action of an infinite consciousness, because it is in its nature a cosmic will determining all relations and apprehending them by its own mode of awareness. And it could not so determine and apprehend them if there were no comprehensive consciousness behind that mode of cosmic awareness, to originate as well as to hold, fix, and reflect through it the relations of being in the developing formation or becoming of itself, which we call a universe. Svadhavan. There's something fundamental here. It's a difficult, long sentence. Sri Aurobindo has a mind which allows him to hold and to pile up thoughts after thoughts. But if you look at it closer, you will see that everything is comprehensively related here and not done at whims of some cosmic will. This cosmic will is working out the whole being, and all meaningful relations come together and can't be otherwise. And that's why it's so difficult to comprehend. You know? Everything is meaningfully related to everything else. This is something always was puzzling me. How come? How everything knows how to be itself? How this table knows how to be a table, how this computer knows how to be a computer, and to send the signal of the sound, to put it into the numbers and send them these numbers to some radio signal, which will go through the wires first and then through the air, will be received by some electrical signals and sent to your computer and project into your screen, and you will see me and hear the Vedic hymns and thoughts of Sri Aurobindo. Just think about it, how complex this reality is. And everything knows how to behave and to relate to everything else. How all these stars and galaxies are moving together. They know how to move together. Our planets know how to rotate around the Earth and to be themselves. And we know how to stand on this Earth. Unbelievable. And this is all related and all meaningfully related. And that is the comprehensive consciousness which is determining this will. And that's why he is Jata Veda. He knows all the creatures who are born. He is the one, the knower. Knowledge kavya ich na parach. There is nobody here having a greater vision than him. He is the visionary. He is kavikratu. He has the will of the seer, of the creator. It is not possible for the individual mind, so long as it remains shut up in its personality, to understand the workings of the cosmic will. That's what we were trying to understand. For the standards made by the personal consciousness are not applicable to them, to these workings. A cell in the body, if conscious, might also think that the human being and its actions are only the resultant of the relations and workings of a number of cells like itself, and not the action of the unified self, of the human being. There is no human being. There's just a group of cells working together. That's how we look at it. It is only if one enters into the cosmic consciousness that one begins to see the forces at work and the lines on which they work, and get a glimpse of the cosmic self and the cosmic mind and will. So this is what we are being trained through these hymns to the mystic fire, just to tune our consciousness to this vision of the cosmic will. The cosmic will is not, to our ordinary consciousness, something that acts as an independent power doing whatever it chooses. It works through all these cosmic beings, through the forces at play in the world, and the law of these forces and their results. It is only when we open ourselves and get out of the ordinary consciousness that we can feel it intervening as an independent power and overriding the ordinary play of the forces. This is Atithi Shivor Nach. Yeah? He is the guest, the cherished, blissful, blessed guest in our being. So once we feel, once we are conscious of him, we can see his kind of independent action upon the forces of the cosmic law, that he will be overriding them, the ordinary plays of forces. Only then we will see his true activities. Yeah? Then we will have that effect, but not before. This is an interesting insight, actually, important for us to understand why we do not see the cosmic will acting in us. We have to ignite this flame within us. Once it is ignited, we will see its miraculous activities. And many of us have these glimpses of this miraculous action of the divine will within us. Suddenly we think about someone, and then we just come and turn over the corner and we meet the person. Or I think that, oh, I forgot to come, I had a class, and then you find out that nobody came to the class. And then there was nobody there to meet. So this is a funny way, because this cosmic power acts within our mind, our vital, our being constantly, yes? And the more we are becoming aware of it, more we are guided by it, and we are becoming part of its movement. There is less and less ego determining our action in us. Yeah? We are not egoistically, I want this, I said I want only this and only my way. There's not this way anymore. Everything is possible. Yeah? So these all possibilities we accept, and then we learn to live in this higher will.
I have a question, Vladimir. Suppose you had to draw a diagram in which cosmic self, the cosmic mind, and cosmic will as three beings were depicted. How would you draw that diagram? How would it look?
Wow. You have to draw the whole world. Cosmic will, it acts upon every yes, you know, they have this proverb somewhere that the feather falling from this from the wing of the goose somewhere flying in the sky will how to say give repercussions with the storms in the faraway worlds. Yeah? So everything is connected in such a way that our mind and our consciousness cannot comprehend. We cannot see. Sri Aurobindo says about the mother in the same way. You cannot see how she works out the details, because she has to take into account, from our mind, take into account, yeah, all the relations. So if you change here, it will change here. We spoke once about this intelligent design. There is a new concept in science about intelligent design of nature. And they say if there would be no smallest change of molecular of some protein in some bug in 300 million years back, there would be no human being in this form. Yeah? They started to see the interconnectedness of all the actions, yeah, in nature. This is something mind-boggling, yeah, because everything, the smallest change somewhere in some protein will be effective in the kind of the results of the evolution of human beings. So how is that even possible? So I don't think it is totally true, because this is something, again, exaggerated by science. But it is true to a certain extent. Yeah? Everything is interconnected. There is also an override, which we do not take into account. The science cannot even imagine that there is a divine will acting in this moment of time and overriding its own workings. We do not imagine this, because this is already theological kind of approach. Yeah? There's someone there who corrects his own activities on the fly, yeah? Who can change everything at once, who can stop everything at once, or if he wants to. Yeah? He doesn't want, it seems. So he continues to do something and correct the movement. And this is the world is in the constant making at the same time. Yeah, everything is connected, and everything is
I got it.
depend.
I got the diagram.
Mm-hmm.
I got the diagram what it would be. Because
Okay.
sometimes I need a visual to understand things. I understand internally, but I just so it stays with me. So it is actually like a kaleidoscope. That's how I'm seeing it, how everything is connected yet unique. The new patterns emerge, the previous pattern and the next patterns are connected, and the colors change and the shape changes, and it also depends on how and what you are seeing, when, at which time, in which light, that things change. So you can actually be a witness to this whole cosmic game, and you can actually, while you are so engaged in it for billions of years in the past and billions of years in the future, you can still probably sometime step back and witness it. So,
And in this kaleidoscope, I would add, it's a great idea because everything is interdependent. You twist a little, it changes the picture.
yeah.
You twist a little, another picture. So all these twists are interconnected within the reality. So all possible twists are there. Yeah? All possible reactions are there. And at the same time, he can take out one stone or add another stone at the moment he wants. Uh, and that is something, whoa, wait a minute, what has happened just now? Why it is there, this new picture or some kind of unexpected result? Because he is there with his free will to override.
So the new stone right now could be the pandemic.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
changed the entire movement of all the designs that have ever existed on Earth till now.
Yeah, and
So
Sri Aurobindo says that nature actually experiments, and many experiments of nature she tries, very courageously tries to do things which are not even in the system of harmony. Yeah? So she does disharmonious things sometimes, like there are strange creatures are born with two heads, or I don't know, to one stomach. She tries to experiment and see how it is, yeah, so to say, to know it better. So these kind of free movement of nature are also, and or she may also come to the end of her experiment, and these are the ends of the manvantaras, are the ends. Yeah. So what is happening within manvantara field? So it starts with the intention, the group soul comes and starts building up relations with nature. And then slowly that plan, that vision, that force which was involved is exhausted. More, less and less we become effective. Till the end of Kali Yuga, we are totally exhausted. We have no resources, conscious resources, to continue anymore. So what happens? We have to withdraw. It's like the human being lives, becomes old, and is not capable to move, body is not capable, and it dies. And so you leave, and then you come back. Again you start with new plan, with fresh view, with a new idea to now you know what you have to do, because the last time you failed. You failed here, and here. You remember where you failed. You made a new intention to succeed in those fields. And with this intention you come and you succeed. But the incapacity is infinite. And so the darkness is infinite. It adds more to transform. So you again exhaust all the capacity. You again make a new plan. So this is how it is being constantly. We are constantly engaged. We are slowly, and by that we are slowly building the instrument which is capable of more and more. Yeah, we are becoming more and more capable of holding the spirit, and capable of higher thoughts and higher capacity. The nature builds up slowly the instrumentation capable of holding the spirit better. And this is the evolution in nature. I do not know. I hope I didn't confuse with this kind of, because we have yuga, Satya Yuga up to Kali Yuga. Why it is from Satya to Kali, not from Kali to Satya? Why we are not getting better, better and better, yeah, more capable and more capable? We are getting less and less and less capable. Because we are facing the darkness, we are facing the incapacity, we are here for redemption of our fallen emanations. This body is that incapacity with the capacity potential. Yeah? So it has to be constantly dealt with. And that's what we are doing. Why we are bringing these thoughts, why we are studying the Veda in this body, in this physical body. We want to bring the capacity of the spirit into the physical body. We want to override the incapacities. It's very complex and beautiful. And we have to remember that everything is possible. There is nothing which excludes something else. It's just complementary. It's another movement of force. Yeah? So all is possible. All the incapacities are possible. It's also something which all potentials, all capacities and incapacities are possible. And they are all here acting. And that is
there is a book which has become very famous these days. It's called The Biology of Belief. I haven't read it, but it turns out that everybody's kind of, because everybody needs a logical and a mental support in life, like normal people. So it's working for them that, like you're saying, if we believe, then everything is possible. And also all the incapacities are also possible because we didn't believe in the capacity, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a psychological thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So here, actually, he says about this, what we were discussing as a truth of karma. It's interesting. A cosmic will and wisdom observant of the ascending march of the soul's consciousness and experience as it emerges out of the subconscious matter, out of the darkness, and climbs to its own luminous divinity, fixes the norm and constantly enlarges the lines of the law. That's what we were talking. Or let us say, since law is a too mechanical conception, the truth of karma. So it is constantly adjusting karma on the fly. Yeah? Everything here is not perfect, but all works out the cosmic will in the course of the ages. It's exactly what we are talking, only in different words. Nothing is perfect here, and still everything works out the cosmic will.
And it becomes easier to kind of accept it because they're talking about it in ages, because that's the way we, like, you expand it, it becomes a little bit easier to kind of handle it. So if it expands through an age, then it's, like if things were happening with this kind of intensity and this kind of cosmic will was visible at every hour, how difficult would it be? I mean, it already is difficult to be so aware all the time. It's exhausting. On top of that, if this was not spread through ages, imagine how much hard work. Oh my God, Ladmi. Thanks for this line.
So much hard work. I like. Yes, it's all work is hard if you look at it from that point of view. Yes, it's yeah, but it is the energy. Yes, energy. It's the power which does it. It is empowered to do it. It cannot do better than that. It does it because it is power. It labors on, labors. It cannot stop laboring on. Yes, Jessel, you want to say something? Yeah. Okay, we move into the next then. Vayam Agne. I wanted to read these passages because they kind of make it more they modernize what we are talking. We are talking about fundamental, huge things. It's not some kind of religion, some praying to Agni or making oblations. It's something much more fundamental and much more metaphysical and psychological than we think. You know? It's more important for us to understand this in this Sri Aurobindo's way. And I must tell you that all things are connected. So wherever you look into this, with this mind, it is the mind which gives you the knowledge of everything. You can see all the connections, all the meanings. We are talking about the same thing all the time. Only we have a very narrow spectrum. We need to widen the scope. And once we widen the scope, we see how all things are related. So these hymns, they are about this wider scope. Vayam Agne Vanuyama Tuvota Vasuyavo Havisha Buddhyamanach Vayam Samarye Vidatheshu Ahnam Vayam Raya Sahasasputra Martan. May we of flame, fostered by thee and awakened, seekers of the substance, prevail by the offering. Now this offering is a very important concept in the Veda. There is no hymn without this word havis. I don't think there is one hymn in the Rig Veda without offering being mentioned, because everything is just the offering here. We offer our unregenerated being to the transformative power of the divine will, which will override, which will change. It's a constant override, constant change, constant transformation. We, in the great struggle, this is the great struggle, Samadhi. We are in this battle of the light and darkness. We in the coming of the knowledge in our days. We, by the felicity, O Son of Force, overcome all that are mortal. You look at this absolute statements. Yeah? They are absolutistic. We overcome all that are mortal, that should change, should die, should be left behind. We have to override this mortality with our immortality. We, the seekers after your treasures, it's my interpretation, awakened by the offering to the higher powers, or Agni, should prevail, supported by you. We, in the battle of the days of knowledge, in these sacrificial gatherings, we, O Son of Force, by the power of that spiritual treasure, should overcome all that are mortal. Here is clearly stated that the overcoming of mortality, which is a characteristic of matter, is possible by the treasures of the spirit, which Sri Aurobindo translates as substance and felicity. It is by illumining the substance of mortality, matter, and transforming it into a substance of the spirit, vaso, raich, dravinam, these are the words in the Veda, that the prevailing over it can be achieved. So we are here illumining the substance. This is our purpose. We, who are the light, who are the sparks of this flame, here to ignite and illumine and change and transform and burn this darkened substance and make it luminous, treasures of the spirit. Make it the treasures. By the way, the idea of the treasure itself is that it embodies the higher qualities like gold is shining with a golden light, yeah, and that golden light is the spirit, yeah. And gold is never rusting, yeah, it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be diminished, because it is not rusting, it is not decaying, it is not perishing. It's actually the symbol of the immortal substance. Yeah. That's why it is the equivalent of money. It is taken as an equivalent of money. And in India, the gold is taken as an equivalent of the spirit. That's why all the temples have to have some gold. Yeah. There's gold is the why India has the biggest number of gold. You know, the biggest amount of gold is in India. That's why India cannot be conquered economically. That's it's really funny that I think a 2/3 or something of gold is in India, and it is in the decorations because in the rings, in the earrings. So Indians, you can be very poor, but you must have some gold somewhere. So you can imagine billion people and everyone has some gold somewhere. That would in the West it's not the case. People don't have gold. Nobody has gold at home. But in India, you must.
Actually, Vladimir,
Yes. Yes, Preet.
it's very surprising how even in the in the indigenous communities where people don't value money, people don't really run after money. There are like communities in Odisha where they have to have gold, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where and when did they really pick it up, but it's very surprising to see like this very heavy earrings which they wear, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
neck, and then like 2 3 earrings, and again in the nose pins, and
Yeah, yeah.
as bracelet and in the arms. So gold is something which is very significant.
Right, right. There was even this kind of habit to that the dowry has to be given with the gold, the same as the lady weighs. So they were putting on the we learned in the history of India that was very kind of shocking. So they put lady on the one side of the Teresa's and the gold on the other. So the lady had to suffer quite a lot before the marriage, not eating, to lose a little gold on the other end, because dowry was so much. Not eating for 1 year, losing all weight. A lot of money. It costs a lot of money.
Yeah, they do it even now.
Even
Yeah, even now they do it in few regions. It's very weird, yeah. And the girl side have to borrow so much money, or they start saving up since a girl child is born, that for them to get married eventually, so that they could give enough gold for the girl child.
mm,
And I thought it's changed now because modern urban educated families, and like I don't remember going to gold shops, but this last week was my birthday, and because my mother's sisters are here, so I have three women who are in their like 70s, and they said no, it's your birthday, we have to go to a gold shop. So it was for the first time even I experienced that, like maybe I would maybe buy something, maybe a lamp or something like that.
mm,
So it is actually in the ancient times that it was there for so many different reasons. Like
mm,
I got to know the toe rings, what they are
Yeah.
for, and how the gold in the bangles actually, melts and gets absorbed, and
mm,
the element. And in our healing, we say like if you're a pilot or you're, if you're not good in flights, if you have a gold chain and you just put it on your head and you energize it, the energy of the gold itself will take away all the traveling sickness and all of that. So
mhm,
you can actually use gold for a lot of healing modalities, and how
mhm,
it changes your lot of things within the body also. So for
mm.
initially I guess it was for that because there is so much power in it, but now of course we are
Mm.
just dieting, so we don't
It's
have to weigh
quite
less
a.
in calorie.
It's amazing
Yeah.
what gold
Yeah,
does.
it's
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I think gold with gems also, because a lot of the
Gems.
jewelry earlier had a lot of crystals and gems which actually had these effects. So it was not pure gold, I think. I mean,
Yeah, gold also, and the gems also. You know that
yeah.
India was the most famous for diamonds. All the diamonds came from India. Madame de Pompadour sent specially the ships to India, which actually created Pondicherry, by the way. It's
Where
quite
is
interesting.
everything now?
They came for diamonds, yeah. The biggest amount of diamonds came from India. It was stolen from India, and all that now UK, that Bank of England is actually Indian diamonds and gold and everything else. And still they could not rob India totally, because the gold is not easily given away. It's also inherited from your mother to your daughter. It is given. It takes. It's really something about this India and gold and its healing effect, as you said, and diamonds, and also yes, they have healing effect. And you see why in the crown they put diamonds, golden crown. Why golden crown? What is the symbol? Or you have this special pentacles with gold. Or why do they put this military? They have gold here, the signs here, in the center of the hanging something golden medallion. Why these medals gold in the center? It's the heart center, the golden pentacle. The crown is the shining of the gold. Because the gold is in the occult sense, in the vital world, if vital creatures look at the person who wears the golden thing, they see that he has powers.
Hmm.
They see
So
that you have vital powers.
India is also called the Sone ki Chidiya, no? I mean, that's the ancient way. Like that's what I've heard, that everyone came to India because they believe that we are just we're the richest country. We were
And
in
you
India.
are actually. This is the funny part, that you have the biggest number of gold, which is not economical gold. It is not the gold which you sell. It's the gold which you keep. And in
Yeah.
that sense, yeah, it's not economical, but it is the richest country. And that's why it cannot be easily conquered by dollars or whatever. That's why the rupee is stable, because of this number of gold, this amount of gold you have. It's something interesting to think of, about India.
Yeah.
So
Actually, there's
yeah.
this healer I heard about. So I mean, so so we all have different elements in our body, no?
Hmm.
So I think 108 elements. So each element, if it's not in balance, then we fall sick. So, like for example, if there is little less gold in some sort of sickness leading to something else. So the healer who studies body on that, he sees what is less. So once I know and he said that the person has less gold in their body. So he suggested something he suggested, I don't remember, which had gold content in it. And I could relate to it there. India had a huge massive rice diversity, native rice varieties, in which it had different elements. There were few rices which had gold, few which had silver, few which had copper, and there has been a whole lot of research on it. I know the scientist who's done it. So I could relate that each element had different each rice variety had different element, and then that would counter different disease in different body parts. And similarly, that healer said that this element is less. So yeah, I just very much
Interesting, absolutely interesting. I didn't know that there is such a variety of rice, and
Also in in Ayurveda, we had this whole healing thing about, suppose you have a lot of agni, like acidity or anger or energy and all. So like for me, I have to put like a silver coin in a glass of water and sleep and drink it in the morning, because of it brings coolness. Whereas people who are very lazy and lethargic and slow and all, for them you need to
kapha.
boil water and put a gold coin, and then next morning you have to put it in. And I have done all this. Like I did the gold coin for my son, and I did the silver for myself. to balance both of us because of the difference in energy. And it works actually. And then my mother came and she says, oh, this is too much work, we'll just boil both the water together. So one silver coin, one gold coin, and we have a jug of water which everybody is drinking, so that there's like balancing of elements within, and the balancing of Agni and Soma, so that
Wow.
we the next day we are all like it's so much harmonious, especially in pandemic when you are stuck inside the house. So we did that for the whole year actually last year.
Wow,
uh,
you're doing magic at home.
yes, gold elixirs.
Right, nice. And gold is quite heavy, it's heavier than iron, and double heavier. It's really heavy. And I was surprised when I came to the goldsmith. You see, in the West, they mix gold with copper a lot. So it is not that 24 karat gold, what you have in India. India keeps pure gold for some reason, nearly close to pure, soft. You can bite it, in a way. It's amazing what they do in India. So when I came to with my, I needed money and I had a golden ring, I wanted to sell it. He took it into the hand, by the hand, and he tells how much it is. I never saw that. He doesn't need to wear. He takes the piece of gold into the hand and he tells exactly what it is with his hand. They don't, and then he puts there and he shows you that it is exactly that. This kind of capacity to measure, incredible. So this is goldsmiths. They are, and all the shops, they have the whole region of shops. Usually, this is the whole um, portion of the city in Pondicherry, and there are no guards. There is nobody to protect. Everybody's standing there, gold. Nobody steals anything. I was shocked to see that. There
Now
are
that
no
we're talking
robbers.
about this, I feel that we have not even looked at it as a tradition. Like we are so used to it because the gold coin that I have is from the university, the engineering college, and for when it became 75 years of that college, then all the faculty was given a gold coin. I mean, just imagine, it is so inherent. The value of gold is so inherent in our society
Mhm.
that to celebrate the university's 75th anniversary, the professors are given gold coins. I mean, that time we never bothered about it. Now I'm thinking they could have given anything, but they gave gold, which will last. And that's the gold coin I'm boiling. So sometimes I used to think, am I engineering pots? Because it's an engineering college, the water. So I'm quite amazed. We should never look at our own culture and our own country the way, from a distance, because we're just so in it. This is quite an interesting discussion today.
Yeah, and this is that embodied in the matter, the spirit. Yeah, that's the symbol of material spiritualized substance, the treasures, and the stones and gold, and these, of course, other metals like platinum, which is less popular for some reason. Yeah, silver and gold are more popular. Great. Okay, we can stop here today and continue next time from number 7. Okay, I'm closing with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I have also golden this from India. You see, Mother's symbol and Sri Ravindra's symbol, straight onto the heart.
Heart.
You all are inspiring me to.
It's the only
You all
gold I
are
have.
inspiring me to save some money for gold. I don't know when will I buy it.
It's
Bindu, we can start with silver. I only have a silver ring of mother and Sri Aurobindo. We can start with silver also.
Yeah, definitely. You need silver. And notice people are not easily selling gold. They are keeping it rather than selling. The prices on gold went tremendously up, and India became richer tremendously all over. All these people who had gold a little bit, they became richer. So this is a very, very clever idea to keep gold. Right. Okay. See you then next time. See you. Bye. Bye. Namaste.